Got bad news for you today. There are no sermon slides. There is no sermon outline in your bulletin today, so you're going to have to pay attention. Sorry about that. But yeah, we closed up shop pretty early this week, and I said, don't worry about all that stuff. We are a mature crowd. We will listen today, and if you want to take your own notes, I'll try to kind of give you some prompts on some good places to do that. But thank you for. We have such a wonderful office staff, and they do such a great job. I was thrilled to say, don't worry about sermon slides and all that this week. It's all good. All right, so let me start with this. My oldest brother, I have two older brothers, as you know. My oldest brother is Greg. He is 6 years older than me. When I was growing up, he seemed like he was a lot older. When he was a senior at Henrico High School, I was still at Chamberlain Elementary School. He was like the third adult in our home. He loved Jesus. He encouraged me in my faith. He hosted Bible studies for his friends in our home, and he worked at High's Ice Cream, and that came with some perks, if you know what I'm saying. That was some good stuff. On top of it all, he was a star athlete at Henrico. Greg was a runner. He was one of those crazy long-distance runners. He could run for miles and not even break a sweat. I hate people like that, don't you? I just hate them. His senior year, he was state champion in cross country. He was the real deal. He had college scholarships to run track. He was a guy who loved the race. The Bible describes the Christian life as a race. 7 times in Paul's writings, he compares the Christian life to that of a runner, the runner running a race. Such familiar passages as, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. As we come to the end of this year, I wanted us to talk about running the race. Now, you can choose to kind of tune in today on several levels. One level is, it's the end of the year, so let's reflect on the race of 2025. Or you can say, it's the beginning of a new year, so we can talk about the race that's coming up in 2026. Or, see all the above. We can reflect, and we can also look ahead, look forward. Rarely does a runner ever hang up their running shoes. Lots of folks who ran competitively in high school or college, still run. Now they do it for fun, the weirdos, but they do it for fun now. Looking at social media, quite a few Fairmounters run on a regular basis. You're awesome. Most getting ready for another race, maybe here in Richmond or somewhere around the state of Virginia, or they travel and go to other places to run. Bree, in our front office, Bree runs half marathons all the time. She's a beast, and always exciting to hear her stories about the places she goes to run. Running is not limited to the young. Some folks do it well into their advanced years. One of my favorite family memories is when my father-in-law was still living. We went down to NC State University to see him compete in the North Carolina Seniors Games, all kinds of senior events, and we went down there to watch him in a couple of those events. We went out to NC State's track complex, and one of the races that they had, several of them, but one of the races that they had was the 100 meters. And so these seniors got out there and were running the 100 meters. Our favorite contestant all day, next to my father-in-law, of course, was this 90-year-old man who ran the 100 meters. 90 years old, he ran the 100 meters. He did so in a dress shirt, dress pants, and a bow tie. It was amazing. It took him 15 minutes to finish, you know what I'm saying? But I can tell you, when he crossed the finish line, there was not more loud applause for anybody the rest of the day than that 90-year-old fella running in a bow tie. I'm guessing that Paul must have been an athlete with so many references to running. But one of the most significant running passages in the Bible comes from an anonymous author, the author of the book of Hebrews in the New Testament. In fact, it is Paul's frequent use of the running metaphor that suggests to some scholars that Paul is the one who is the author of Hebrews. We won't know until we get to heaven, and when we get to heaven, I have a feeling we're not going to care. Here at the close of 2025, I want us to focus on that Hebrews passage that talks about running the race. Hebrews chapter 12 details how to best run our race, how to run it well, how to finish it well. So find in your Bible, your phone, your tablet, whatever you got with you, find chapter 12 of Hebrews. I'm not going to be putting any slides up for you to read along with me, so find that in your own Bible or just make notes and read it later. But Hebrews chapter 12 is where we are today. Now, like a cross-country race, the course of our lives is not flat. It's not a well-groomed running track. It's not a perfectly measured oval like you will find at every high school in Hanover County. The course is winding, it's hilly, it has ups and downs, it has changing conditions, various terrains, just like life. Reflecting on the race course of 2025, and with our eyes set on the race course of 2026, we discover in Hebrews 12 some excellent biblical advice for running the race of life well. And I want us to consider 4 of those reminders today. The first is, let's use chapter 12 to remind us to refocus our sights solely on Jesus. Let's refocus our sights solely on Jesus. Now, I've shared with you many times, I am not a resolutions guy, New Year's resolution guy. I'm a word of the year guy, and we'll, I'm sure, talk more about that in January, because I always break resolutions. I mean, it's almost like they're intended to be broken. If something is worth making a goal for, it shouldn't really matter what time of the year, right? But there is something about the change of the calendar that does lend itself to reflection and thought, much like Angie was just sharing. There's something about changing the calendar that lends itself to change, to resolve, to refocus. You know, did you get a new calendar for Christmas? Did anybody get a new calendar for? That's a popular. We got one for our daughter. She has a favorite calendar. You can get it one store in Carytown, and we always try to go down and get it. It's always a joy. She always acts surprised. I love it. You know, she gets this beautiful calendar that she loves. A tradition that Betsy and I have is that we go off to the calendar store in early January to get one of the 75% off calendars. That's what, you know, because we're cheap. Now, it is a risk, of course, because you don't know what they're going to have left. You might get cute kittens, or you might get the best of the Hallmark Channel, something horrible like that. So you don't know what you're going to get when you go for the 75% off calendars, but you get what you get. Changing that calendar, throwing out one, putting up a new one, prompts a time of measurement, a time of evaluation. Did things go as I planned last year? Where can I see God working in my life? It's a time for prioritization. Where do I need stronger resolve? What will make for a better use of my time? How will I grow? A new calendar represents a fresh start. As we reflect on this past year and look ahead to the next year, let's refocus our sights solely on Jesus. This is such an important biblical reminder, and it's really worth highlighting in whatever Bible format you have. It's so important to highlight Hebrews 12:2. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus. What a powerful reminder. It's almost like the author had each of us in mind, because each one of us are going through something in life. Life is tough. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Life is full of opportunities. Fix your eyes on Jesus. There are difficult crosses to bear. Fix your eyes on Jesus. There are exciting challenges ahead. Fix your eyes on Jesus. There are burdens that confront me. Fix your eyes on Jesus. I am blessed beyond measure. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Some things aren't going so well. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Some things are going great, but I'm overwhelmed. Fix your eyes on Jesus. He helps us with every burden. He is part of every success. He got you through this year. He will go with you through the next. I don't know that we need to go out and buy one, maybe get on the internet and find one, but what if Jesus was on your calendar every day? Either his name or a picture of him, portrait of him or something like that. What if every time you looked at the calendar on your wall, your desk, your phone, your computer, whatever, you saw Jesus? Would that help us keep our eyes fixed on him? Short of carrying that picture in front of us all day long, how do we do it? How do we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus every day? I don't think the answer is complicated, and in fact, you probably already know the answers. We pray. every day. We read the Bible every day. We look at people with the eyes of Christ every day. We serve every day. Sundays become days of rejuvenation, revival, cleansing, fresh starts. This is how we keep our eyes focused on Jesus. As the Hebrews author says, we're to fix our eyes on Him. He is the goal. He is the standard. He is everything. He will encourage us. He will be with us. He will cheer us. He will even carry us when necessary. The second reminder from this racing metaphor of Hebrews chapter 12, in this race of life, remove all obstacles preventing progress. Remove all obstacles preventing progress. We have some daunting obstacles in the way of running this race well. We need to remove them. He says in verse 1, therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. So as we reflect on this past year, what hindered you from a healthier, closer walk with God? What hindered you from keeping your eyes focused on Jesus? Was it a sin? Was it busyness? Was it excuses? Was it priorities? What needs to be removed from your life right now so that you can run the race in 2026 less entangled and less hindered? The author says that we have all these people that have gone before us. He says a great cloud of witnesses. I love that picture there of just these people that surround us from the past, maybe even currently, who encourage us. I guarantee you that there is not an obstacle in your way, there's not a sin that you struggle with, that someone in that great cloud didn't struggle as well to overcome. It might be somebody from the Bible, it might be somebody from your personal life. Look to them for inspiration. Look to them for strength to do the same. You know, I love being your preacher. I mean, this is the great joy of my life, is to be the preacher, the pastor of this church. But, you know, sometimes getting in the pulpit on Sundays can be a challenge. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it is. The busyness of life, distractions, fatigue. The older I get, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, knee pain. I can go on down the list of all the pains, you know. Spiritual dryness. Yes, even sin. Lots of things that make it a challenge every once in a while to get in this pulpit. But then I'm reminded of my great cloud of witnesses, of which there are many, but I'll mention these. I am Fairmount's fourth pastor in the last 85 years. That's actually pretty remarkable for churches across this country. Not about me, it's about these men who came before me. Harry Gill before me. I don't know if Harry's out here. Is Harry back there somewhere? All right, I don't know if he's here today, maybe down in Raleigh. Gary Fenner before him, my friend Gary, and Mr. Wilson, my preacher growing up. Mr. Wilson was here for 40 years. Mr. Wilson was hired by Fairmount just a year before the start of World War II. I think of all the things that he experienced in his tenure. I think about all the things that our nation went through. I think about all the things that Richmond has experienced, not to mention the changes and challenges of a growing church that we had in those days and still do today. The changes and challenges in his own life, like everybody else has. Yet every Sunday, Mr. Wilson faithfully preached the word in our church. I stand on the shoulders of Mr. Wilson and Gary and Harry. Who is your inspiration? Whose shoulders do you stand on? Follow their example. Each of us are challenged to faithfully remove any and all obstacles preventing the progress of our Christian race. Third, to run this race well, remain within the confines of the race course. Remain within the confines of the race course. In 1980, Rosie Ruiz won the Boston Marathon in record time. But there were some suspicions after she crossed the finish line because she one, she wasn't sweating, and two, she just didn't seem to be particularly tired, which you'd be pretty tired after running a marathon. So they investigated her win, and it was discovered that at one point in the race, she had gotten off the course, taken a subway, and took it toward the end of the course, where she popped out of the crowd and finished first. In other words, she cheated. There is no cheating in this race of life if you want to win, if you want to gain eternal life. There are no shortcuts, there are no gimmies. We have to run the course. We have to run the course with faithfulness. Perfection is not demanded, but going off the course is not an option. Our author writes, let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, Hebrews 12:1. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. The Word of God is full of grace, but it's also full of truth. It is uncompromising in this race that we are to run. We must follow Jesus, and we must give Him every portion of our life. Now, this passage is all about following God's will for our lives. And as complicated as we try to make that sometimes, well, what is God's will for my life? It seems, no, His will is not convoluted. His will is not difficult to grasp. It's summarized in our church's mission statement. Love God, love people, make disciples. It's as simple as that. The various ways in which we do that are spelled out clearly and unmistakably in the Bible. God's will is not difficult. Love God, love people. Persevere in those endeavors. People aren't going to always like it. Persevere. Sometimes people will ridicule us. Persevere. It's quite likely on some things we'll be on what they call the wrong side of history. Persevere. You may lose friends. I know folks who've lost jobs because of it. Persevere. Stay the course. No one ever said the race would be easy. But the end is worth it. And speaking of the end, that's our last reminder. Resolve to reach the finish line. Resolve to reach the finish line. With our eyes fixed on Jesus, with hindrances out of the way, and staying within the confines of God's will, let's not lose heart. Let's stay the course. Let's race to the end. Hebrews 12:3 says, consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Life is wearisome, life is draining, life is exhausting. But life is also exhilarating, full of purpose, full of meaning, and full of joy. Let's not lose heart. Let's not give up on faith. Let's not give up on prayer. Let's not give up on the Bible. Let's not give up on fellowshipping with each other. Let's not give up on the church. As the author of Hebrews will say in chapter 10, let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of His return is drawing near. Every single day it's getting nearer. Let's stay at it. The beautiful thing that we've talked about today is that it applies to each of us as Christians, but it also applies to this church. Here at Fairmount, we can reflect back on 2025, and Angie did a beautiful job of that. I'm going to just reiterate some of that. Hundreds of sermons have been preached. Thousands of lessons have been taught. Thousands of Bible studies have been led. We've had over 50 baptisms. I'm expecting by the end of this week we might even be over 60 baptisms this year. Mission trips went to New Zealand, Poland, Kenya. Over 2,200 shoe boxes were filled for children around the world. Marriages were strengthened. Families were helped. Wheelchair ramps were built, homeless friends were fed, expectant mothers were supported, a strong rekindling of our young adult ministry, a Christmas production with over 4,000 people from the community coming for a powerful message, incredible generosity of our people. God has been leading us every day. And we can look ahead to 26, and He will continue to lead us every day. As a church family, we keep our eyes on Jesus. We remove the obstacles that stand in the way of our great mission and vision that He has given us. We remain faithful to the course He has laid out for us. And we resolve to finish when He is ready for us to be done. All of us, individually and as a church, we run to win the race. Because in this race, everyone gets the prize. If run God's way, you will win. you'll get the prize. If everybody in this room does it, yes, you're going to get there. You're going to get to the finish line at a different time. We all have different finishing dates, but we will all get the prize. In Paul's day, the winner of an athletic contest would receive a crown, not a king's crown like we think of, when I hear that word, but a victor's crown, a laurel wreath placed on top of the victorious runner's head. Paul says in that famous running passage of 2 Timothy chapter 4, the last writing we have of his, I fought the good fight. I finished the race. I've kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. Paul says we receive a crown of life, a crown we get to wear forever. Betsy and I love, we've loved doing the Monument Avenue 10K over the last several years. We missed it the last couple of years, but we love it. I mean, it's fun to be down in Richmond, and it's fun to be in a big crowd with all the crazy people dressed all weird and everything. But I love going down and doing that. I'm hoping we can do it again this year. But I know a lot of you do that as well. We're walkers. We're in the walker jogger wave, and that's fine. We have a great time walking it and pretending like we're jogging. And I don't know, but it's one of the things that's kind of cool to me. Is somebody just thinks that whole thing is so amazing down there in the city, is that you really don't see the finish line on Franklin Street until you're pretty close to the very end. And there it is, the big banner finish. And you cross the finish line, and everyone that I've done, they gave you a medal. You get a medal. I got them hanging. Some of them hanging in my office here. I mean, I didn't even come close to it. If there was 1,000 runners, I was 997. You know what I'm saying? But I get a medal, and I hang that thing on. They give you a banana. I mean, it's the best. It's the freshest banana in the world. I don't even know how they come up with these thousands of bananas they hand out, and you get a banana. It's always fun to get to the end. People are cheering you on, and there's people there that if you drove down there with somebody, you find each other, and you're like, oh, let's go get something to eat. But whatever, it's all good. What I love about what they do down there, and I don't know if it's this way everywhere, but what I love that they do is that they mark the course out for you so you know how far you've gone and how far you got to go. So every time at 1 mile, there's a big old 1 mile banner, 2 mile banner, 3 mile, you're going on down. And what I love about that is not only do I know how far I have gone, but I know how far I got to go. And when I hit that mile 5, I'm like, I think I can make it. When I make mile 6, I know I could roll the rest of the way if I had to. You know what I mean? I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Nobody in this room knows when the finish line is going to be for your life, for the race of your life. But you are closer to the end today than you were yesterday. It's just a fact. Whether Jesus comes back or whether you go to see Jesus, that finish line is coming each and every day, and you're getting closer and closer. And one day when you cross that line, the medal you will receive, the crown of life you will receive, the banquet that he has prepared for you, the cloud of witnesses that will be waiting for you. It's going to be amazing. But we got to run that race, stay on the course, fix our eyes on Jesus. Look back this year, see how you did, but then let's move forward to 2026. And where in your life do you need to focus your eyes more intently, more purposefully on Jesus? And commit to that today. If you need to follow Jesus and you've never gotten on that race course, I'd love to talk with you about that today. It was exciting to see, Howard today. That was wonderful. That can be you today, tomorrow, Wednesday, whatever day. That could be you. And that would be something I would love to talk with you about. But let's all focus our eyes on Jesus. Let's stand, and Bill will lead us in a song.